Fights back, adding 50% to its retaliatory tariff on American exports, up to 84% now, responding to the U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods that rose after midnight to 104%.
Until they make a deal with us, that's what it's going to be. I think they'll make a deal at some point. China will. They want to make a deal. They really do. They want to make a deal. They just don't know how to get it started.
President Trump also said last night at a dinner with House Republicans, a lot of countries are wanting to make deals to avoid tariffs that affect about 90 countries. And he just posted on Truth Social moments ago, it's a great time to move your company into the United States. Don't wait. Do it now. Now, another stock sell-off is looming. Dow futures are down more than 600 points on top of a more than 4,000-point plunge the past 4 trading days, while markets also drop again worldwide.
The mood here at the White House is more upbeat. Staffers are happily carrying out the president's orders without much worry about the markets in the meantime.
Fox's Peter Doocy also reports.
Vulnerable Republican lawmakers are worrying this is putting them in a tough spot, to the point that for the first time in U.S. history, in a congressional hearing, there have been threats made to the U.S. trade rep.
Whose throat do I get to choke if this proves to be wrong?
Well, Senator, you can certainly always talk to me, but
are you at the tip of the spear?
Well, I'm at the tip of the spear for certainly.
Well, that was GOP Senator Tom Tillis sparring with Trade Representative Jamieson Greer at a hearing where Democrats call the Trump tariffs reckless. Back to China, it's pushing back on Ukraine's claim that Chinese soldiers are helping Russia fight the war there.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he believes significantly more Chinese are fighting for Russia than just the 2 soldiers his forces have captured. But China says that claim is totally unfounded.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. New Israeli airstrikes have hit Gaza, targeting Hamas, but Palestinian officials say at least 23 people were killed, most of them women and children. America's listening to Fox News.
It's tax season. By now, we're all a bit tired of numbers, but here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number, $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed. Save up to 40% in your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. That's LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again, because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to VaxAssist.com and schedule today. That's VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
While President Trump keeps hitting countries with tariffs, he's also taking executive action again to reverse the course President Biden took, restricting coal production in what was a climate change fighting push toward renewable energy.
Coal miners joined President Trump here as he signed executive orders designed to jumpstart the declining coal industry.
And all those plants that have been closed are going to be opened if they're modern enough, or they'll be ripped down and brand new ones will be built.
The president says beautiful, clean coal is needed to double U.S. energy capacity needed for AI development. A series of executive orders allows federal land to be used for coal mining and prevents several plants to be shut down. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The price of oil is plunging again this morning. It's down almost 7% to about $55 a barrel, a level not seen since COVID times in 2021. It's up to 98 people dead in the Dominican Republic in yesterday's roof collapse at a crowded nightclub. Singer Ruby Perez, who was performing at the time, among those killed. There's another empty cell this morning on Florida's death row.
Michael Tanzi's final words were an apology to the victim's family and a Bible verse before he was executed by lethal injection. He was convicted of abducting and strangling Janet Acosta in 2000. She was on a lunch break from her job at a Miami newspaper when she was attacked. Several appeals to stay Tanzi's execution failed recently. The Florida Supreme Court declined to stop it based on issues with Tanzi's health. The U.S. Supreme Court rejected a stay hours before the sentence was carried out. Tanzi is the 3rd person in Florida to be executed this year. A 4th is scheduled May 1st. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
An accused child killer in California was in the country illegally. That's what Homeland Security says. Mario Edgardo Garcia Aquino is charged with murder. He was a youth soccer coach, and the 13-year-old boy killed disappeared last month. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Tax filing deadline quickly approaching. The Illinois Department of Revenue reminding taxpayers April 15, the deadline to file this year's state individual income tax returns. Agency began accepting those processing individual income tax returns in January. In a mission to help teens, Salvation Army of Champaign County trying something new this year. They're launching a hygiene drive and they need your help on donations. The goal to help high schoolers in Champaign County. They say there's a shortage in supplying students with health products. They'll be collecting donations from now until July 24. State representatives passed a bill Monday night to require all assisted living and shared homes to have an AED on site. Legislation also calls for all healthcare employees at the facilities to be trained on how to use defibrillators in emergencies. 54% of the state's nursing homes already have AEDs. That's what's happening on your Wednesday. Your locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, well, off and running. It is, don't tell me, Wednesday, April 9?
Yes.
Got that right. So
I got you, Stevie. I was looking
you.
straight at the thing.
Correct.
Yep. Okay.
First base, yes.
Joomer's is opening again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hotel Royer.
Yeah.
But Joomer's for the throwback townies.
Well, what else has it been?
I know.
I mean, we had this name, that name didn't work. Then they sold it. Then the town gave them money. Then they...
And maybe Hotel Royal, formerly known as Joomer's?
Yes. So Hotel Royer, according to...
And where is this establishment at?
This is downtown Urbana.
Downtown Urbana.
Yeah.
Green Street goes
Also
right
down
into it.
Champaign?
Yep. It's we're Twin Cities, so this is technically in Urbana, or some say Urbana.
And it's connected to Lincoln Square Mall.
Yeah, Lincoln Square was the ice storm of '67 when our family went to Lincoln Square and I played on the Whale.
Yes.
And went to McBride's and got a really big toffee for 10 cents.
Nice.
Yeah. That's back, in the 1800s. Anyway, so Hotel Royal has a soft opening.
I remember an old Lincoln Mall in the southern suburbs of Chicago growing up.
Well,
at Cicero Avenue and Lincoln Highway there in, I believe, Matson, Illinois.
Yep.
Okay.
Lincoln Square was the first indoor mall in America.
Yeah.
So we have
that going on.
Yeah. Anyway, April 16th is the soft opening. April 17th is the University of Illinois graduation.
April 17th?
May 17th.
Thank you.
April 16th,
Yeah,
soft
there you
opening.
go.
May 17th, commencement. Everybody freaked out. For a single person or a couple who wants to check in, Friday, check out Sunday, $573 for a king bed.
Okay.
2 nights.
Oh, 2 nights?
It's 2 nights. These days, that's not, of course,
not too bad.
You got it. Whenever you go to a hotel, don't you add
No,
20?
for 2 nights, not at all. No.
But whenever you go to a hotel, you look at the number and say add 20 to 30%. Because there's city fees, hotel fees, taxes.
Oh.
So 500 really is going to be like 600.
Okay.
That's kind of how it works. The following Friday shows prices $216 per night for a king or queen, $241 for 2 queens. Very happy to report tonight that the final certificate of occupancy has been issued for Hotel Royer. Mayor Diane Marlin says.
Yes.
It happened yesterday, 2 days.
Okay.
Anyway, they received their public health permit. That's good to know.
I'm glad it's happening
Well,
before Diane steps aside.
Yeah.
Because, there's a new mayor that was elected and she decided not to run again. And this has been one of her projects. And I'm glad she can button it up.
But the city, $5.5 million incentive for the project. $5.5 million.
Goodness.
For every 3
like
months.
tax breaks, stuff like that?
For every 3 months, a portion thereof that the project extended past the date, $150,000 subtracted from the $5.5 million. Does it really take? I guess it does.
Right.
That much money, $5.5 million. Anyway, it's a lot, and I hope it works for them. Good luck to everybody involved.
Absolutely.
It's been going on a long time. All right, we check your weather. Our meteorologist Greg Solier brought to you this morning by the Urbana Park District.
Urbana Park District tomorrow is hosting the Chamber of Commerce for their business after hours from 4:30 to 6:30. Yeah, at the Health and Wellness Center, there's lots of meeting rooms too. Check out details, urbanaparks.org.
All right, sir, what say you on this Wednesday morning?
Well, no major storms on the maps and charts we can report here over the next 10 days to 2 weeks. No long-term big warm-up in sight. We'll continue this teeter-tottering effect back and forth on temperatures. So enjoy what couple of days come from time to time in the milder spring-like department and the drier days to your benefit. Not a completely dry one, just pesky weak weather systems coming our way, of which one back to the west. Already a couple of sprinkles and snowflakes noted north of Danville, east of about Milford, Watseka on the I-6 65 corridor right now. And the scattered shower activity back kind of west of a line from about Peoria to north of St. Louis, all heading eastbound. So we'll get into a little wet weather here this morning. 38 over at Willett and Savoy, 36 at Rantoul. And we'll get a break on that shower activity back in maybe towards evening time. Lots of clouds, south wind, and a high about 52. Lingering shower chance tonight. And a little patchy fog tonight as humidity comes up and the winds drop down. Overnight readings down to 41. Tomorrow, a little patchy fog early, partly sunny. Lesser shower chance both early and late. None of these are going to be, again, all-day rains, and they'll stay on the light side, but kind of slowing up, drying, and firming again. Highs tomorrow at 58. Some sunshine, low to mid-50s on Friday, up and around or maybe north of 60 on Saturday. That's more like it. A breezy, milder, good-looking Sunday at 67 and up to 73. Small chance for shower Monday. Will hover in the lower 60s for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week as well, with some colder air then to follow. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. ESPN 93.5. You noticed that my daughter-in-law, Riley, did get a real estate license.
I know, and so cute when there was a post that talked about her in third grade making these homemade business cards of her being a realtor.
Yep.
And she had like a layout and design of a home. I really took a deep dive and looked at the picture because I'd totally rock a 6-bedroom, 4-bathroom.
Yeah, there you go.
With a place for horses and riding stables and all kinds of stuff that she had designed in third grade.
No, that's right.
And wanted to find the perfect person for this home.
Riley suits Cacciatore married my son Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And now we'll work with her mom, who you hear on the radio, Diana Foltz, with Coldwell Banker.
Terrific people. And Reggie's terrific too.
Yeah. And she's Riley's a bronze tablet.
I know.
There's very few bronze tablet people posted wherever that is. Where's library? I didn't even know where the bronze tablets are.
Very smart.
But if you get a bronze tablet designation, woo.
Go ahead, Riley. Congratulations on
awesome
the new
stuff.
venture in the real estate world.
All right, so it is 12 after. We've got tariffs.
Yep.
China has now come back with 34% more on our tariffs.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
We'll see your tariffs, and I'll raise you more tariffs.
Right. How long till it all evens out?
Well,
is this just a blip?
No, I mean, well, we hope so. This is to China and South Korea are on their way to America to make a deal.
Okay.
So it's Canada and Mexico got to make a deal. They do 35% export, 25% is us. They don't have the cards to proceed. They got to do this.
And all we're trying to do is level the playing field.
Yeah. It's just we've been tariffed. Nobody has had the political courage to say and do this.
Right.
Because look what the markets. I'm down 20%.
Right.
I mean, it's scary. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So you got to be able to say, is it a good thing that China essentially steals our intellectual property? You can't sue them. You can't do anything. And they don't really do what they say, according to Kevin O'Leary. I'm going to play that clip here this hour.
Okay.
And they just cheat. So if you're okay with all that and we're being taken advantage of by, we have to pay taxes in their country, can't get our products and services, Donald Trump says no. We ain't doing it. We're doing reciprocal. So if you charge me 22% of my tariffs, I'm charging you 20. Oh, you can't do that. Why not? I'm $36 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
So if they go zero,
why are we loaning any money to any country?
We're trying to be the voice of freedom and democracy. We're the most powerful economy in the world, most powerful military in the world. It's not a given that stays that way, and we're trying to keep it that way. So Donald Trump yesterday, our president, said we're getting $2 billion a day already, is what's coming in from all these tariffs. And so the goal is to say, listen, I'll go zero if you go zero. And at least, why has it been this way for so long?
Right.
That's the big question. So we'll delve into that a little bit more. We have a Stever this morning. We also have sports headlines for you.
And a Cardinal win, 5-3 over Pittsburgh. We've got your Redbird recap
Paul
now.
Skeens, their ace. I mean, he's a superstar.
Okay.
They beat Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens has only lost 4 games in the major leagues in 2 years, and the Cardinals have beaten him 3. So how about that?
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Orton, I'm John Rooney, and last night at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, the Cardinals were able to jump on Paul Skeens. They picked up 3 runs in the third, 2 more in the 6th, and beat Paul Skeens and the Pirates 5-3.
A big 2-run triple for Victor Scott, the Cardinal left fielder, a big hit in the game. The Cardinals got the Skeens again. He only has 4 losses in the big leagues. 3 of them have come at the hands of the Cardinals.
Skeens is 12-4 lifetime in his brief time in the big leagues with a 2.14 ERA, but the Cardinals have pinned 3 losses on him. And a big night for Victor Scott with 2 hits, as you mentioned. Brendan Donovan had a 2-hit game with an RBI, and the Cardinals were able to keep pressure on Skeens.
Phil Maton was able to close the game. He picked up the save. Helsley not available. Sonny Gray, the victory.
The Cardinals go for the series win behind Eric Fetty, and we're on the air at 10:40 this morning.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
Cubs win 10-6 over Texas. Now they'll have a day game today too. 1:20 start from Wrigley over on US 105.9. Cleveland over the Chicago White Sox 1-0 in a pitching battle. ISU took down Illinois baseball 14-4. Shortened game in 8 innings. They've got Indiana at Illinois Field on Friday starting at 6. Illinois baseball 18-12 on the season. Parkland and Danville Area Community College split yesterday. The Cobras are 20-10 on the season. First game, DAC on top 1-0, and then the Cobras won 6-2. Pacers over Washington 104-98 yesterday. Cleveland over the Bulls 135-113. There was the AP Top 25 poll to button up the season yesterday. Of course, Florida on top, then Houston, Duke, and Auburn, and Tennessee. Some of the Big Ten teams included Maryland, Michigan, Purdue, and Wisconsin. Seems like I saw that Illinois was like 33 or something like that, but of course didn't cut into the top 25.
Okay, we I think ended the season at 22. So, and won 1 game, so that would be top 32.
Yep.
All right.
That's right.
And then we'll, of course, see all the preseason football here coming up. Some of the polling there have the Illini in the top 25.
And next week, Coach Underwood is busy with his Coaches versus Cancer event at Gordyville to help out American Cancer Society.
He's a national chair, I think.
I know.
He's the big dog on Coaches versus Cancer. He's got a lot of good people. And, of course, I forgot who, but I was impressed by who they consistently bring in
on the panel and the discussion that we have and the Q&A afterwards. What a terrific event.
And there'll be how many there, 1,000?
Right, and I had heard from Charla Jolly, who's helping organize on the American Cancer Society side, that they are starting to button up the list. So if you're thinking this is an event I wanted to go to, now's the time to reach out.
Well, you'll certainly see people.
Yeah.
And Pards puts a nice boot on every table.
That's right. It has a Western theme, so you do see lots of boots and belt buckles, and you can get all those at Pards if you're not ready for that.
Pards in Urbana has the biggest boot selection in the Midwest.
And his hometown, baby.
It's a big deal. Let's check your weather forecast with meteorologist Greg Sollier, brought to you by Carl.
Carl reminds you that if you don't have a plan, you should, and you can do that very easily. Talk to your primary care provider about advanced care planning. Learn more at carl.org.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for Eastern Florida. Champaign and vicinity. Overall, pretty quiet weather picture. The absence of any major spring storms in the next 7 to 10 days. Just a couple of weak features in here for the day today and tomorrow. Another one scheduled in here early next week. Another one late next week. Overall, temperatures continuing their back and forth trend across the area as well. Speaking of which, increasing thickening and lowering cloudiness underway, and a couple of sprinkles giving way to a couple of showers as the morning wears on. Another shower chance later in the day, up to 52. Increasing southeast to south wind. Lingering shower spots early on tonight. Not as cold. Patchy fog after midnight as winds drop back low down to 41. Those winds will shift around into the west at 5 to 10 miles per later on tomorrow. So patchy fog early on, partly sunny, and maybe a small chance for a fleeting shower both morning and afternoon. Highs up to about 58. We'll bottom out in the upper 30s tomorrow night. Weekend forecast, partly sunny, coolish Friday at 53. Up near 60 Saturday, upper 60s on Sunday, lower 70s Monday. Maybe a shower over parts of the area as well. For TVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
You've set your financial goals. One kid plans to go Big Ten, the other Ivy. Your bucket list includes seaside sunrises and sunsets on the slopes, or perhaps a second home away from it all. Busey Bank can help develop the right investment strategy to take charge of the years ahead. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Susan Lee, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are falling. Though China has expressed an interest in negotiating, it has responded with its own new tariffs after U.S. reciprocal tariffs took effect overnight, including 104% on China. China retaliated with tariffs of 84% on U.S. goods. Tariff turmoil is now impacting airlines. Delta Airlines is setting aside its upbeat forecast for the year because of uncertainty. The airline is citing broad economic uncertainty around global trade and says growth has largely stalled. Delta's recent quarter was mixed. The airline was predicting this would be its best financial year ever. The Bank of England is warning that rising tariffs are threatening to undermine the stability of the global financial system. The bank's Financial Policy Committee says economic growth is likely to slow. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
I'm Emily Campagno, host of the Fox True Crime Podcast. In 1976, a young mother was abducted, raped, and tortured by a faceless attacker in Park Hills, Kentucky. She was haunted by the attack for 40 years until 2 detectives gave her case new life when investigating a cold case murder. This week, Detective Coy Cox joins me to discuss his investigative work on both cases and explains how he was able to identify 2 monsters.
Listen and follow now at foxtruecrime.com.
Stevie J here. With Nate Evans of eXp Realty, you'll always get a stress-free sale for the most money.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to thenateevansgroup.com.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Jets is hiring. Call 217-352-9992 or stop into 1907 West Springfield Avenue near Round Barn in Champaign. Jets is open till 10 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays till midnight. Are you looking for a side hustle? Here's Josh from Jets talking about the benefits of doing deliveries.
When I was a delivery driver, it was amazing how much the actual amount of money I had just shot right up. It's hard to describe. You have money in your pocket every single day.
For details on joining the team, visit jetspizza.com.
Winter's finally over. Time to thaw out and enjoy the sunshine. But is your yard ready? Huh? 2 Minute Junk Truck can help you ditch the clutter and create the perfect outdoor oasis. From old patio furniture to forgotten fire pits, 2 Minute Junk Truck will haul it all away. Get ready for cookouts, parties, or just chilling with a good book. Make space for what matters most. Visit 2minutejuncktruck.com today. Use code RADIO25 to save $25 on your next service.
All right, we got Brother Johnny. He's in town. He'll be jumping in here in just a few moments. We can't talk to our friend Ed Martin on Wednesdays anymore until he gets confirmed by the Senate. He is the U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., I guess interim, because he hasn't been confirmed. They don't have hearings at this level, but as the most powerful law enforcement official in Washington, D.C., he has to be confirmed. And Adam Schiff is leading a campaign against him.
Oh, boy.
Good news. Badge of honor.
Okay.
That guy. He's the guy that had all the evidence on Russia.
Oh,
he didn't have all that guy.
Yeah.
They call him Watermelon Head, which I disagree with. I don't think you should call people names.
No.
But it is kind of elongated head.
I mean,
anyway.
Just say oval or something. Watermelon,
no,
really?
I don't.
Third grade.
I don't agree with some of the verbiage coming out. Okay, 724.
We just heard that 2 Minute Junk Truck ad, and I tell you what, I'm looking forward to this garage sale on the 12th. It's like the first time I've heard of garage sailings this early in the season, and it's 701 West Bradley from 8 to noon.
Yeah.
And the proceeds help out Courage Connections.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, they get all this stuff from your house, and sometimes people say, take that, and you're going, man, that looks like a $3,000 couch. And we've gotten things from various places, including Habitat, where Janet loves to go, where she'll buy a $45 all leather and just redo it.
Yeah.
and it's a $45, $1,000 thing.
Right.
At least.
And people might be upgrading that fire pit, that patio furniture.
There'll be good stuff. They're not putting junk out there, putting things that have value, but then they're giving the money to Courage Connection. Which is, what is Courage Connection again?
It's helping out people who have gone through an abusive chapter, and they need to get on their feet and have local resources.
So that's 2 Minute a Truck, 8 to noon Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So the sailors, if they catch wind of this, don't get in their way. They don't talk. They have sharp elbows, and they'll be there from 7 to 7:05, unless they see what they're looking for.
For the early bird.
They'll be there in line, but then they'll leave at 8:05.
It starts at 8.
All right, they'll be in line, but there'll be
I
people.
don't necessarily want to encourage.
They'll be there at 7. You can't stop them. They'll come to your garage at 6:30.
I know.
Garage sailors go at 6:30 if you list something they want.
Yes.
Do we have items that they have at this sale?
I should look into that.
Because I'm sure there are all kinds of things. I
Right.
don't know this, even how big the space they have is.
Another thing I have a star on is Farmer City Raceway with the racing coming up this weekend. So the Illini 100, and we actually have some wristbands and pit passes if you want to text in Farmer to 217-359-2255. It's going to be great to get out of this season Friday and Saturday at Farmer City Raceway.
I think the weather looks good for that,
I do too.
All right, so if you want a Stever opportunity, this is a program we created to essentially say, okay, I'll pay for some of this to get you to try this good company, and then you try it, and then your call if you go back. But it gets actual revenue in the door for our businesses, and today it's PDR Automotive.
Yes.
And if you're driving a little older car and you don't want to go see Ben Quattrone at Sarah Champagne right now, maybe you want to know what the status of that used vehicle, or one of your kids has the car, but you've really never gone through it. Well, this is a go through it. It's a complete vehicle inspection, which is like $110 value. I'll pay for that. And then if you do need stuff done, I'll kick in not $100, but now $200 towards something. So it's a real good chance for you to get a 5-page printout in color of the assessment. They just hook it up like they would you a heart monitor. It's not a 56 Chevy where you lifted the hood and your guys came over and you kind of tooled around with it. Can't do that with these things anymore because they're so electronic.
I know.
So if you want this opportunity, you go to GoStever.com. If you're not a member of this club, you're welcome to join. Thousands have joined in because I give chunks of cash.
I love it.
It's like,
and the businesses love it because they're actually seeing, oh, there's a Stevie J customer.
Yeah, it's a win-win, and I sometimes have to really be careful of the businesses we partner with, because obviously you can't get somebody who's not great at what they do. Because then
you want top quality.
Well, because it looks bad for us.
Right.
So PDR Automotive, John Marshall and his team, wonderful people.
1008 North Cunningham in Urbana.
Yeah, if you win one of these, you go in, say, I got a Stever, I want this complete vehicle inspection, I'll pay. And then, of course, if you do need, you don't have to walk away after that with your 5-page printout, it's fine. But if you do have stuff that costs $460 to fix, I'll give you $200 toward it.
Okay.
Or maybe it's just an oil change or tire rotation, whatever.
PDR Automotive, family owned and operated since 1973.
Then you'll have peace of mind knowing you're driving a very safe vehicle. It's GoStever.com, GoStever.com. Brother Johnny jumps in. I got a great John Kennedy, Senator Kennedy clip standby.
Are you ready to upgrade your home this spring? Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing has got the sale for you. Now through the end of March, offering a free water heater with the purchase of a new HVAC system, or 60 months, 0% interest on financing for a new HVAC system. It's the biggest sale of the year. Call Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing at 217-841-4728. Get a free quote for your home today. It's 217-841-4728. Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, your home's best friend.
Attention all truck drivers looking for a new opportunity with great pay and amazing benefits. Gail Frericks Trucking has got you covered. Join their team, receive a $4,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $4,000 just for coming on board. Plus, enjoy a $1,200 gross weekly pay guarantee. Drive their state-of-the-art Freightliner Cascadia trucks equipped with a revolutionary system designed to reduce weight and downtime. Get home every weekend and some nights during the week with paid vacations and holidays. They offer company-sponsored health insurance and all the benefits you deserve. Regional drivers get first priority. Don't wait. Apply in person at Dedicated Diesel, 1313 Triumph Drive, Urbana, or call Tim at 765-5 765-505-1295. That's 765-505-1295. Start your journey today with Gail Frericks Trucking.
This is XYZ Insurance. How can I help?
I have a question about my home policy.
Okay, question about phone policy.
Home policy.
Okay, gnome policy.
HOME, home.
Technology is great, but sometimes it's better to talk with a real person. With Erie Insurance, you have a caring, independent agent who's with you from beginning to end.
We don't have any HOMEs on record.
Your Erie agent in Champaign is Thomas & Ellers Insurance. Go to erieinsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump's so-called reciprocal tariffs on imports are now in effect. It's 104% on products from China.
Prices are expected to rise as these new tariffs were launched beginning at the stroke of midnight last night. The U.S. government began collecting tariffs on roughly 90 countries. Top Trump officials say they've heard from 70 of them trying to negotiate new trade deals with the United States.
Fox's Lucas Thomas in China's put new 84% tariffs on American imports. An immigration judge in Louisiana tells the Trump administration to provide evidence by today against Mahmoud Khalil, the leader of Gaza war protests at Columbia University in New York.
The federal government plans to deport him, even though he's legally in the country. Once the government's evidence is submitted, Khalil's lawyers will review it by Thursday. The judge plans to decide for or against removal Friday.
Fox's Gernal Scott. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Historic Champaign Theater stage has been empty for months while under renovation, but now shows back in the spotlight. Virginia Theater hosting a soft opening Monday to screen Drop, a PG-13 thriller. About 250 people snacked on popcorn, cracked open candy as they found their seats. A Mattoon police officer who was on patrol Monday morning able to help rescue people after spotting smoke coming from an apartment building in the 1400 block of Charleston Avenue. Officers able to alert the occupants of the other apartments and safely get them evacuated. Mattoon Fire Department quickly extinguished the blaze within 10 minutes. State representatives passed a bill Monday night to require all assisted living and shared homes to have an AED on site. Legislation also calls for all healthcare employees at the facilities to be trained on how to use defibrillators in emergencies. 54% of the state's nursing homes already have those AEDs. That's what's happening. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Yeah, the defibrillator Jim was just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We got one at the CrossFit, and somebody was outside that needed attention, so we grabbed that. That thing, when you open, we didn't have to use it, but when you open it, I mean,
has the directions right there.
No, it just talks to you.
Oh, wow.
Open case.
Okay.
Put strap on chest. I mean, it's loud and it's very clean. And
wow.
You're thinking, I don't know, under a panic situation, I don't know. God forbid I ever
Good
have
idea,
to. But
though.
it seems very, very clear. But defibrillators are pretty important to have at as many places you can get them. Check your weather, brought to you by Kramer Siding and Window.
Your computer isn't the only thing that needs a Windows update. Give your home the best energy efficiency when you replace those drafty windows. Learn more at kramersiding.com.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign and vicinity. Just a series of weak weather systems here over the next 7 to 10 days, and some ups and downs on temperature that continues on, typical for early to mid-April across the area. Heading towards an afternoon high today, a bit below average at 52. A couple of sprinkles giving way to a couple of rain showers are back in for this morning as well as later this afternoon, with southeast to south wind turning gusty at 8 to 16 miles per hour. For tonight, maybe a lingering shower in spots, not as cold, patchy fog after midnight as winds drop back, and a low down to 41. For the day tomorrow, with a west-northwest wind, a bit gusty at times, a high near 58 with partly sunny skies, a patchy fog early on, stray and limited shower chance morning and afternoon. 37 tomorrow night, partly sunny, 53 on the day on Friday. Saturday high, though, back up around or north of 60, 67 on a breezy, milder Sunday, lower 70s on Monday with a shower chance, and we'll cool back to the lower 60s next Tuesday and Wednesday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm just Greg Soldier.
All right, so normally Ed Martin jumps on. Ed's temporarily not available.
Okay.
Until he gets confirmed.
Well, Ed's the interim
right.
U.S. Attorney, D.C.
Yep.
And that takes a floor confirmation from the Senate.
Okay.
Now, no hearing, right? Just
no.
Floor
But
okay.
Which would probably be better if there was, because especially now, people are getting nervous. The president is pretty much in quite a battle of wills here with particularly China.
Yeah.
And some of the senators seem to be wavering on things. So Eddie's looking, forward to get that confirmation. And
should get it. Right?
He should.
Adam
get
Schiff
it.
is against him, Senator Schiff.
And that should help. But there's just people, you've got a few Republicans.
I know.
That were a couple voted to impeach Trump over the J6, which Eddie was a defender of the J6, which Trump pardoned just about everybody. But that's what probably would be any kind of issue would be that.
So he's going to hang low.
He's hanging low. He's probably hanging low.
Well, and when you do an online search to Ed Martin, it says U.S. Attorney nomination.
Okay. He's running the office now. So interim.
Yeah, he's doing the job, and so he wants confirmation of that. We're waiting, and he's kind of laying low. It's like when you get in trouble and your attorney says, keep your nose clean.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, it's Brother Johnny's jumped on. Diane Ducey's
Good
over
morning.
there. I'm Stevie J, and it's Wednesday, April 9, ESPN 93.5. All right, so I've got some tariff information. China just said, I'll take your extra tariff and I'll raise you. So we're at 104% taxing any item coming from China. They're now at 80, added 34%. So whatever. I can't remember what it's before. Maybe it's 68. It's 88 or 68. It's up there, so it's like back and forth. They said they're going to fight to the end.
Okay.
Oh, what's that mean?
Well, I mean, hopefully they're not going to do that, but I think they have to get together and work something out.
Well, they do have to get together, and then they both have to come out and save face like they normally do on these things. Okay. So right now, though, it's probably not going to have a great effect on the markets, and the reason I think you're rushing out to do all this is that you got midterms next year, and things got to go quick if you're going to do them. Johnny, nobody has ever stood up to this kind of abuse that America has taken when it comes to trade.
Well, and nobody's going to do this kind of, okay, we're done here, because it's a big political gamble, and a lot of people get affected. In the long run, yes. The short run, people are going to lose money. Their businesses are going to be hurt. And I don't think it'll last long, but there's not very many people in a political position that are going to take that chance because they'll get run out of town.
If your portfolio is down 20%, did you lose it, or is it just down 20%?
It's just down 20%.
Okay,
you lose it if you sell.
Right, but it could come back.
It will come back.
Okay, so here's a guy named Tom Esman, CNBC, a pretty good explanation, a little lengthy, but I think if you listen carefully, it kind of lays out what's happening.
What I make of it is that I think part of the problem, and I'm watching your show, everybody else's show, and people are getting on the show, they're all almost in hysterics. And I think the issue is that everybody of our social class took Econ 101, and we were all taught the same thing. Trade good, tariffs bad, trade war terrible. And that was drummed into everybody's heads with such force that it's a paradigm that now you have a president of the United States who doesn't seem to accept that paradigm, and people find that extremely jarring. So what I try and do in situations like this is try and step in the shoes of the other person, see the world through their eyes, and try not just to understand what they think, but why they think it. And I think what's going on here is you have to go back to the 90s when Clinton was pushing NAFTA and China entering the WTO. And he basically made two arguments, that free trade would improve GDP growth and would create a lot of jobs. And he was right on the former, and he was dead wrong on the latter. And, if you travel this country, there are parts of this country that would have been devastated over the last 25 years because of free trade, because they didn't just lose their jobs, they lost their towns. So I think President Trump is taking the attitude, free trade is great, but GDP isn't just a number, it's people. And there are whole parts of this country that have suffered terribly. And we have the freest markets in the world, and he wants to reorder it. And I have a lot of sympathy with that. And I think one thing that isn't said enough is that the United States, if that's your goal, the United States is in the best possible position to negotiate towards that goal, because the percentage of U.S. GDP that is composed of exports is only 11%. It's the lowest percentage pretty much of any country on planet Earth. Europe, every country is in excess of 30, except for Germany, which is over 40. Mexico and Canada are over 35%. China, if you factor in all the stuff that they do through Vietnam and Cambodia, is probably 30%. So what's going to happen over the next several months are negotiations, and what's going to become very... So if people are rational, this is where I don't know what's going to happen. If countries are rational, Canada and Mexico would come to the United States and basically beg. We'll do what you want. Because of the 35% that Mexico and Canada have of their GDP from exports, 25 points of that 35% is just exports to the United States. Those two countries hold no cards. Now, Europe is not much better. And so I think if everybody's rational, they'll lower their barriers. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's rational. There's politics. People might be, some of the politicians might be afraid if we give in, we're going to lose our jobs. Mm-hmm. That's the wild card. If reasonable heads prevail, Trump will get pretty much what he wants.
Tom Esmond, CNBC. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. And another way of thinking of it, if we're making cars, and we were getting a little sloppy, so Japan was making cars way cheaper, and they sold them, and our guys got their act together and started making good cars, and before you know it, we can sell to Japan just like they're selling to us. The best car wins. And then Japan says, no, we're going to double the price of your cars coming in here. Wait a minute. So there goes all our car manufacturers.
Yeah.
And then they get all the work to build cars.
Yeah.
And so that's simplification, but that's basically what happened to us. And it wasn't fair because we have the innovation. We have the people that can compete. Even though we make more money, we can compete because we think of ways to keep that price to where we're competitive with Germany.
Even with the labor costs, we can
do it in a lot of places. If we can't, fine.
Yeah.
But when they double the price of our goods, there's no chance. We can't sell into their country. They sell into ours.
So if successful, this could be a massive impact on our economy.
Sure, but where we have all the cards is we can make everything we're buying. It just would cost a little more.
Yeah.
We do not need them. They need us to sell to.
Are we willing to pay, from a $24 item to $32 to make it here? Is America willing to do that?
Well, we'll see. And it's a political risk because to go back, it caused a lot of pain and suffering to give the store away, and a lot of towns did just basically go out of business. But when you try to shift and reset, there's going to be a lot of people that'll go out of business because they can't buy the parts and this and that, and there's no time. And the hope here, the gamble is we're in such a good bargaining position. It won't be as long, and it won't cause as much damage to us.
Well, why won't any other president ever do this?
Well, because you're going to be down at 11% approval rating, which at this point I don't think Trump cares because he's going to be back up at 97 if it comes out.
All right, here's Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, from Shark Tank and others, an investor in China.
Pretty sharp business,
yeah,
man.
Well, he's thinking we're not doing enough.
104% tariffs on China are not enough. I'm advocating 400%.
400.
I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it, and sell it back here. Never has an administration.
400% tariffs? What would that look like?
I want Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. This is not about tariffs anymore. Nobody has taken on China yet, not the Europeans, no administration for decades. As someone who actually does business there, I've had enough. I speak for millions of Americans who have IP that have been stolen by the Chinese. I have nothing against the Chinese people. They brought great literacy, art, and tech to the world. The government cheats and steals, and finally, an administration, you may not like Trump, you may not like his style or his rhetoric, finally, an administration that puts up and says enough. 400% tariffs tomorrow morning. He'll tell you why. Xi can only stay the supreme leader if people are employed. If we wipe out any business there, because we are still 39% of all consumables on Earth and 25% of the world's GDP, America is the #1 economy on Earth with all the cards. We will not have that forever. It's time to squeeze Chinese heads into the wall now.
Wow.
Well, hold on a second.
That's a pretty strong statement.
Mr. Wonderful
Yeah.
works with China.
I think he's
knows a little more, but it's true. We do have a very strong position. And then again, they're exporting to us so many products. They're going to have a disaster if we quit buying them. But then our companies are going to hurt too.
Yeah.
And so it's a matter of who can hold out.
And can we ramp up? Can we make everything we need that China
Can
does?
the Americans make anything?
I mean,
we need?
can we get it quick enough?
Quick enough. That's empirical. But I got to tell you, we can do it. Steve, after the Battle of Midway, it became clear that whoever had the aircraft carriers ruled that part of the world. So the Japanese put everything on it. They were able to build 3.5 aircraft carrier in about 2.5 years. We built 90. Yeah, we can ramp up. We have everything we need. The free trade's great because it keeps prices down. Some of our fellow Americans will just take us to the cleaners if we have no alternative.
Yeah, right.
We know
Right,
that.
right.
That's why we like free trade. It's called competition,
Yeah.
and it gets you the best product for the best price.
And this was all NAFTA, all back in the 90s when Ross Perot, anybody remember Ross Perot?
NAFTA was a bad deal, but
That was
no,
in Mexico, wasn't
the World Trade entry of China into the World Trade Organization.
Long time ago.
And here's what you have to do.
Was
Here's
that
how-
in the 90s? No,
Yeah,
certainly.
I think so.
Wasn't this big sucking sound that Ross
That
Perot
was Ross
talked about?
Perot. That was the NAFTA.
Okay,
that was in a similar time period, I believe, that China came in and said, "Okay, we got the deal. We'll do it." And they
Okay.
haven't played by the rules. They have done everything they can to take over markets.
Well, why haven't we stood up to them before?
Because
politically,
can't
do it.
Now that I can't answer.
Yeah. All right, our one of our favorite senators is Senator John Kennedy. Happens to be a pretty good friend of Brother Johnny here.
Yes,
And-
I've texted him just recently. See what's going on. He's hanging in there.
Okay, so here's Sean Hannity at Fox News last night panel, and it's a John Kennedy-ism for sure.
I consider Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez to be the leader of the Democratic Party. She's entitled to her opinion. I'm entitled to mine. As I've said about her before, I think she's the reason there are directions on a shampoo bottle.
She's the reason there's
plan for
directions
healing-
on a shampoo bottle. That's what John Kennedy says. Directions. Well, I mean, you have to know if you're supposed to do 2 rinses or 1 rinse.
Right.
Or, but how does he do that?
That's
How
a
does he
good
come
one.
up with
I don't know. He's just got that wit, and
well, it's
he's a smart guy.
But Johnny, if this doesn't work, the Democrats could win the midterms, and then we do impeachments.
Well,
again.
sure, but they won the midterms last time. So,
But that means we're back to wokeism and boys playing on girls' teams.
we probably are anyway if we keep going down this path. Because if we lose our economy, then everything's going to go south. So I think this is probably a one-shot deal for us. And I do think we have the right guy doing it.
Well, there's no other guy that would do it.
No
and
other guy would even be
Yeah.
left standing.
So it is a risk. The key isn't that he's doing it. The key is when and how fast can it show results so the market bounces and all that stuff.
It probably boils down to how long can she hold out as the leader of the Communist
But he's
Party
not
when all his constituents, and they are constituents, you may be in a totalitarian country, but you have to do what you can for your people. And if they lose their jobs and can't buy groceries, he'll get thrown
But
out.
don't they kind of disappear in China if you object?
Well, not when you're talking about, 600 million out of the 1.3 billion. So we're talking a big impact on their economy.
Okay.
And they don't need to do it. They can play fair and do okay.
So they probably need to meet ASAP, I would think.
Well, that's the plan,
Yeah.
I'm sure. And it might ratchet up to 400 before
Yeah.
they do. But.
All right, 217-359-2255. That's our Fisher National Bank text line. What do you think?
Right. And Philip is saying items are not going to cost, quote unquote, a little bit more, like you're saying. They're going to cost exponentially more without real economic advantage to that. Most of the manufacturing jobs, quote unquote, might come back will be automated. If you stop listening to these TV talk heads and read an economics book or listen to Thomas Sowell.
Thomas Sowell's right, yeah.
Trump is going to engineer a recession and condemn the GOP. It'll be an absolute bloodbath next year.
Or it'll be the golden age of America, right? I mean, this could be big good, and I guess it could be bad.
And I don't know if I ever said it'll cost a little more. I think he's right.
I said the $22 to $34. I mean, I don't know what. But what ways can
that's a scenario that people are worried about.
Will we pay way more?
We could pay way more, or not even get to buy the product.
Well, that means no economy churning and nobody spends their money, kind of thing, too. So,
well, I'll tell you, though, Diane, that answers the question, why haven't we stood up to them before?
Yes.
Because we don't want to go through it. We can always pay, but it's a death by 1,000 cuts.
Right.
Eventually, they'll keep taking our innovation. There's 1.3 billion people in China. There's plenty of more capacity to work. If they take all our jobs, we'll keep closing down towns.
Right.
And so we can't depend on a non-ally like that. It's not a smart thing to do. And then once they have us to where we can't survive without their product, they'll call the shots.
Okay, so the bottom line is very simple. We don't know exactly what's going to happen.
That trading partner, the Communist China, their overall mission is to take over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Communism needs to be everywhere. So if they get the upper hand to that extent, we got other problems.
Yeah, right. But we don't know what's going to happen in the short term, right? I mean,
no, that's the gamble. That's why you're going to hear all manner of, and I think that's what the texter said was a pretty conventional and not unrealistic possibility, and so that's why nobody's stood up to him. But I think that China, we have the leverage still enough because they depend on us buying their product. Mm-hmm. That if we actually stand up to them, not to say we're not going to buy from you. We have to have a better deal.
Yeah.
Come talk. And I think they will.
Check your weather. Brought to you by Busey for over 155 years. Member FDIC. And Jeff from Watts Copy Systems came by and fixed our scanner, which is good news. They were there yesterday.
All right.
Watts Copy Systems offers cost-efficient solutions for busy offices. If you want a free evaluation, call 217-352-0428.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for Eastern Florida. Champaign and Vicinity. Overall, pretty quiet weather picture. The absence of any major spring storms in the next 7 to 10 days. Just a couple of weak features in here for the day today and tomorrow. Another one scheduled in here early next week. Another one late next week. Overall, temperatures continuing their back and forth trend across the area as well. Speaking of which, increasing thickening and lowering cloudiness underway, and a couple of sprinkles giving way to a couple of showers as the morning wears on. Another shower chance later in the day, up to 52. Increasing southeast to south wind. Lingering shower spots early on tonight. Not as cold. Patchy fog after midnight as winds drop back low down to 41. Those winds will shift around into the west at 5 to 10 miles per later on tomorrow. So patchy fog early on, partly sunny, and maybe a small chance for a fleeting shower both morning and afternoon. Highs up to about 58. We'll bottom out in the upper 30s tomorrow night. Weekend forecast, partly sunny, coolish Friday at 53. Up near 60 Saturday, upper 60s on Sunday, lower 70s Monday. Maybe a shower over parts of the area as well. For TVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
The Urbana Park District Health and Wellness Center is open. Located at 2002 East Washington Street in Urbana next to the Brookins Center, the Health and Wellness Center has 2 full basketball gyms, pickleball courts, a walking track, weight and cardio rooms, a fitness classroom, and a meeting room. Buy an annual membership for unlimited access. For more information, call 217-255-8601 or visit urbanaparks.org. Urbana Park District, you belong here.
Yeah, maybe Donald Trump could have a PPP for TV people that sell stuff. That would be good, Steve, because that would help. I mean,
it would help.
Because, I mean, listen, wherever you are in the political, if you can't sell a television because of tariffs, that's a bad deal for you.
I am trying to keep my shiny side up. You may or may not know, earlier this year, I renewed our lease on this place because I love what I do.
Yeah.
What our company does is help people when we provide solutions. It's not so much a move in a box, but moving boxes is what keeps the lights on and all that.
No, I get it. I get it, yeah.
Yeah, on Saturday I got an email from Epson. I didn't open it till Monday because I don't usually look. It was Saturday evening. and every projector in their lineup went up 24% effective Saturday. There was no chance to buy anything and beat it. It's just bang zoom. The $4,000 model is now $5,000. I was in front of an Epson executive in Nashville just 2 weeks ago, who said, "No, the tariffs won't have any effect. We don't have any Chinese parts in our projectors. They're 100% from Japan." And bang zoom. Samsung and LG they've reduced their rebates. They didn't raise their prices on existing models, but they've cut the deals down. So they kind of raised their prices.
Yeah, right. No, right.
There's still inventory in the country. We can't buy 6 months worth of product. I mean, and still pay the bills on that. So, we're trying. I'm doing whatever I can to get as much as I can of stuff that's pre-tariff and sort of safe and a good value, including like the new Denon receiver I just put in my house over the weekend.
Yeah,
it's if you need something like a TV or some electronics, buy it now because it's going up, and it looks like it's going to be 20 to 30% is what we can look at.
It's Steve Suderman at Good Vibes. We love talking to him, but with the tariffs, he's certainly going to be affected. But I understand the president of Japan's on his way, the premier, somebody's on his way to Washington, and they think Japan could be one of the first here to figure this out.
Okay. I sincerely hope this gets reevaluated, reordered, whatever. Because it's going to be a bluesy summer otherwise.
Well, Steve, I think some of us will still buy product at the little bit. 30% is not little, but at the higher price if they want a television. And there's they can't go down the street and have a guy. I don't do tariffs. I mean, that's
right.
Can't do that.
Correct. But you got guys like Crutchfield that might be able to buy 6 months worth of stuff. The
big box stores, big mail order guys.
Don't know. Yeah. Best Buy's not in financial shape to buy that kind of thing. Yeah. But there are internet companies that are like Amazon and that. So we'll see what we'll see.
And also look at the fine print of what you're buying too. Make sure you know what you're buying because online it's going to say this price and it's this size. But what do you got?
Well, wait a minute though. Steve comes in, he'll back your product, and put it in for you. They're not doing that online. So.
No, exactly. You can't. And
you still got that going.
You got the guy that can service the darn thing. And if you don't, good luck disposing it because you can't get rid of them. So. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Everybody's going to feel this, I think, for hopefully a very short period.
Hopefully a very short period.
It'll be in fits and starts before it's across the board. And do I have concerns? Heck yeah.
Yeah, small business guys aren't flush with cash. We can't last a long, long time.
Right, that's the problem.
So maybe there will be a PPP for really, and you have to.
99% of the businesses in the United States are small businesses.
Okay.
I think that's defined by less than 100 people or something, but.
Well, maybe we ought to do less than 15 people or something. I mean, let's get down to small business, okay? Come on, man. Anyway, we're big fans of Good Vibes. They've been around 53 years and just do it right.
What kind of good stuff you got, those as far as tech and product?
Johnny, you're due for a TV.
I am, actually.
The only thing that's been really whacked right now is projectors. Projectors across the board, they're all come from China. I am all in favor of shoving China off the board a little bit, but I didn't get the 46% on Vietnam, but that's where the CD players come from. Not a lot of CDs buying, but we do have great deals on receivers, on speakers, and the mainstream TVs from Samsung, LG, and Sony. They're all promoting what they have that's in the country now.
Okay, well there you go. So the price on those. So I mean, projectors, you love them and everything, but the 98-inch television is kind of the new projector, isn't it?
That's put a dent in the projector sales anyway. You can get those for a very reasonable sum.
Yep. Steve Suderman, Good Vibes. How can people connect with you and shop local?
Go by
local at 2010 Round Barn Road or on the web at gvibes.com.
All right, my friend. Hang in there. We're going to get through this.
Thanks, Stevie.
All right, buddy. Steve Suderman at Good Vibes. If you need a television, please go by there.
I might have to go buy one.
He would appreciate that.
I've been criticized by some family members for not having a television.
I see.
Well, we're not up here that much,
right.
but
the one we had. Let me just say, the one Johnny has in his Philo home, we watched the 05 championship on.
Okay. So, and that means what to me? No, what it means is we can't carry it out the door without a crane.
Well, he'll take it too. He'll take that.
Yeah, there you go.
All
well,
right.
Okay. We'll
be right back. It's Brother Johnny. There's Diane Ducey. I am Stevie J, and it's time for the news. It's 8 o'clock in Champaign-Urbana on this Wednesday, April 9. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
China fights back. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, retaliating to new U.S. tariffs that went into effect after midnight.
This escalation is a loser for them.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent tells Fox Business it's unfortunate China does not want to negotiate.
Because they are the worst offenders in the international trading system. They have the most imbalanced economy in the history of the modern world.
Now Fox's Jonathan Savage on what China announced this morning.
Starting tomorrow, all U.S. goods being imported into China will face an 84% tariff. Not far off the 104% levy the Trump administration has slapped on Chinese goods coming into the U.S. Beijing had promised to fight back against the new tariff regime, describing moves in Washington as bullying and saying China's right to develop cannot be deprived.
Well, the tariffs that went into effect don't just affect China. There are about 90 other countries, and President Trump says many want to make deals.
I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal.
But on Wall Street, continued concern about all these tariffs affecting the economy. Dow futures are down more than 600 points after plunging well over 4,000 the past 4 trading days as markets also fall again around the world. There's another hearing today for the ex-Columbia grad student the Trump administration's trying to deport for his role in destructive anti-Israel protests in New York City.
Federal immigration judge Jamie Comans wants to see the Department of Homeland Security's evidence against Mahmoud Khalil. He's being held in a Louisiana ICE detention center, accused of being a pro-Hamas protester on Columbia's campus last year. The federal government plans to deport him, even though he's legally in the country. Khalil claims he's been detained for exercising his free speech rights.
Fox's Gernal Scott. It's up to 98 people dead in the Dominican Republic disaster when a roof fell on a crowded nightclub early yesterday. Singer Ruby Perez among those performing. He was among the killed. America's listening to Fox News.
It's tax season. By now, we're all a bit tired of numbers, but here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number, $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed. Save up to 40% in your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. That's LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit VaxAssist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Just days before the deadline for Americans to file their income tax returns by next Tuesday, there's a change at the top of the IRS.
The chief of the Internal Revenue Service is planning to resign as the agency heads into its busiest time of the year. The departure of Acting Commissioner Melanie Krause, the third IRS leader to leave this year, comes as a controversial deal to share tax data on undocumented immigrants with federal agents becomes official. For years, the IRS has been encouraging tax compliance and asking people living and working illegally in the U.S. to file tax returns and comply with tax law, promising not to share that information with immigration authorities. Krause took a deferred resignation offer available to many federal workers and is expected to depart April 28th. It's not clear whether she'd remain acting commissioner till then. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
The killer was killed last night in Florida. Michael Tanzi was executed for abducting and murdering a woman in 2000 while Janet Acosta was on a lunch break from her job. In Tanzi's last words, he apologized to Acosta's family and read a Bible verse, and then he was lethally injected. Also in Florida, child pornography bust.
Investigators arrested 7 Florida men for their involvement in what officials call a truly heinous international child porn ring. Florida's Attorney General said it's disgusting that child sexual abuse material is advertised in plain view on apps such as TikTok. and that he's grateful to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement's partners, including Homeland Security, who uncovered what he calls a deviant network. Investigators believe the ringleader is in Turkey and have issued a warrant for his arrest. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
Well, with all the stock market selling, the price of oil also down big again this morning, another 6%, just under $56 a barrel. We haven't seen that price since January 2021. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. State representatives passed a bill Monday night to require all assisted living and shared homes to have an AED on site. Legislation also calls for all healthcare employees at the facilities to be trained on how to use defibrillators in emergencies. 54% of the state's nursing homes already have AEDs. Tax filing deadline quickly approaching. The Illinois Department of Revenue reminding taxpayers April 15, the deadline to file this year's state individual income tax returns. Agency began accepting those processing individual income tax returns in January. In a mission to help teens, Salvation Army of Champaign County trying something new this year. They're launching a hygiene drive and they need your help with donations. The goal to help high schoolers in Champaign County. They say there's a shortage in supplying students with health products. They'll be collecting donations from now until July 24. That's what's happening on your Wednesday. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Well, if you need home, auto insurance, I think life insurance has given me more peace of mind, way more than I expected. But I love my life insurance. But if you need insurance, Kurt Lenschow, State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. Our meteorologist is Greg Solier. Cloudy conditions, sir, but not so unusual for Mr. April, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly.
He's going to say exactly something, but it blipped out.
Running from about those
There
Sterling Rock Falls up there.
Yeah,
Hello.
you blipped
You there?
out for a minute, but you're back. Good deal.
Good. We paid the bill here. In any event, Sterling, Rock Falls to the north and to the south, down around Shelbyville and west to the Mississippi. Some shower activity on the move across the area. 39 right now at Willard and Savoy, 37 at Rantoul, same at Danville, 39 with the rain creeping into McLean County there at Bloomington Normal, and a little rain down towards Decatur there and at 42. So we've got some shower activity here for this morning, 10th to less than quarter inch, but certainly slows up the overall drying process out there. Afternoon temperatures with kind of a break in the cloud cover, thinning out a little bit, expected to top out at around 52. That's about 6 or 7 shy of normal. Southeast to south wind, another shower chance here late this afternoon, early on tonight. As winds drop back, overnight lows down to 41, and there'll be some patchy fog late night tonight and tomorrow morning. Otherwise, some peaks of sun tomorrow, stray shower threat, couple of hundredths of an inch early and late. A lot of dry hours tomorrow at 58. Cool Friday, but some sunshine. Get to about 53, and we're dry there. Now warm up for the weekend. We need it up around 60 or a little north of there Saturday, 67 on Sunday. Another weak weather system. Nothing major in the maps and charts the next 7 to 10 days. Another quick system in here at Monday at 73. Would cool back into the 60s Tuesday and Wednesday. Some colder air. Another crack at a couple of rain showers for late next week as well. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
So with this risk, I guess you could call it political risk or whatever risk for the country on these tariffs and all the prices that could go up and the different sectors that could be affected. The question is, if this is a good thing to try and level the trade playing field, will congressmen and women and senatorial people continue to back Donald Trump on the Republican side, or will they start drifting away?
Well, they'll play their politics however they want to play it. But back to the trade war, I mean, what can happen is if they're not doubling the price of our product going into their country, say Mexico, then we can actually sell into Mexico.
So Buick could be in Mexico City.
We will get jobs. And yes, they'll be automated, but I've heard that old thing, well, we're going to lose jobs with automation. No, for every welder, you're going to hire 2 tech guys to support the automatic welder machine. I sold that bill of goods on key punchers. Hey, we don't need them anymore. We got all this automatic machinery. So outgo the $12 an hour, manual importers, and in come the $25 an hour tech people 2 to 1. It was double the employees
Back in the day,
but we did 3 times the work. So
the efficiency, yeah. But don't tech people still control the world? I mean, you have to have the tech people.
They're hugely involved in what we're doing, and they can shut things off that we take for granted. So, yeah, I wouldn't say they're running the world, but you got to be nice to them.
Yes.
All right, so we'll see. This is obviously going to make a lot of people uncomfortable for good reason. You're looking at your stock portfolio. Dave Portnoy, who's Barstool Sports, and he said his stuff's down 20%, so it doesn't look very good on paper. But if you don't sell it, you haven't lost it. And if China comes in and we meet with China, the market's going to go kaboom if something happens good in the next 3 months between China and the U.S.
That's right. It'll be a big positive, and it'll help us for sure. And China will still sell plenty of product, but it's just uncharted territory.
They call it blackmail.
Well, I mean, it's kind of just blackmail when they double the prices on us, and we say okay, so it's okay.
But
it's not blackmail. That's negative.
Turnabout fair play.
Let's just call it a bad deal.
It's a bad deal because
Right.
we made the deal. Some president made the deal with China.
Well, they said, here's what we're going to do, and we say, okay, that's okay. We're going to have to close some plants, but that's free trade. I'm like, no, that's not free trade because it's artificial. Free trade means everybody makes what they want. If it sells, you win. If it doesn't, you lose. You don't double somebody's price when they can do it for $100, and you say we're going to charge our customers $200. That's not free trade.
How many presidents have we had that actually had to make a payroll?
Well, I'd have to look back, but more than you think.
Not the size of Trump.
Well, I'd have to do a little.
I mean, you go back
history on
every
that
one of them. I mean, you go back to Joe Biden's lifelong politician, Barack Obama. No.
Well, when I was at the Clinton Library, they talked about him balancing the budget in the late 90s.
Well, I'm talking about a private business making payroll to help. Has anybody run a business? Has anybody felt what we feel?
Probably more Republican, and that's, I'm not trying to diss the
think
Republican. Bush probably helped.
Bush was part of the Texas Rangers,
Yeah.
but he wasn't making payroll. He wasn't in charge of making the number every month.
if you own the Rangers, you're in charge of making
you had a
payroll.
piece of it. I don't know if he was that active. He showed up.
And Jimmy Carter in the peanut farm
Yes, he
industry.
definitely had people working for him.
Right.
Jimmy
did.
Carter
So there's a Democratic
made a
president
payroll.
who I voted for, by the way.
Gerald
because
Ford
he-
was a lifelong guy. Ronald Reagan was an actor. I don't think he hired people.
Right.
I just don't think we've had very many like
That's
Trump.
interesting.
Nobody like Trump.
Well, there's probably been a businessman, if that's what you're saying, through the years.
We had rich people. Wasn't FDR really, really rich, but came from aristocracy or something? I mean, he was that rich family, the Roosevelts. Anyway, I'm just saying that to feel that pressure, like 99% of businesses feel, of I hope we stay in business, which is every small business feels that at some point. So it's hard. And so I think Trump has more of an understanding, having run corporations and hired so many people, that he knows a bad deal. And I would say the politician might not recognize the bad deal because he doesn't understand the ramification of cause and effect.
We got a text in saying, Brother Johnny's spot on. Manufacturing is way off from full automation.
Right.
I mean, we're headed that way. I'm going to go to McDonald's someday and never talk to a human.
No, well, you're close to it now.
You can do the kiosk if you want.
But if the 18-year-old doesn't show up because they don't feel like it, that's not good either. Finding people at these lower level jobs that are supposed to be temporary jobs is hard. They don't come. They don't even show up for the interview. Unbelievable how difficult it is to get good help these days. If you're somebody that's 17 years old or 19 years old and you want to get after it, pick your job. You're hired today by noon.
Well, and the pay is better. It's gone up from where we worked relative to what things cost, maybe, because, a car costs what? 30 grand that used to cost $5 when we were growing up.
Right,
and I don't know if I was making $2 an hour. Are you making 10? Yeah. So maybe it's kept up, but it's gone up to 15
just
or
the
20
quality
bucks.
of the young worker doesn't appear to be the same.
Well, I think they'll get their act together. You pay them enough, and they get they got to have something that they feel is worthwhile. But we have gotten to where we have so much wealth and so much tech that we don't have to work. In other words, you're going to survive one way or another. Your aunt will take care of you. Your brother's got something here for you. Your mom and dad's got an extra room. We've got a lot of capacity, so you don't have to work. We either did or we didn't get to go do anything if we didn't have some money.
No,
I had to go bale hay, or I couldn't go to the store and buy anything.
That's hard work, man. Baling hay. That was heavy, particularly in the rain. The thing got heavy.
$3 an hour job, though. That was big.
That was big back then.
Yep.
All right, we check your sports headlines. Diane Ducey at 8:15.
Just negotiating at 359-2255. Some of the text-ins Farmer for Farmer City Raceway. Yeah, the World of Outlaws and the Illini 100 with the racing beginning on Friday and Saturday. And good luck to our winners who are getting some wristbands to walk around. The pit passes are a lot of fun. Illinois baseball beat by the Redbirds 14-4. They wrapped up the game because of that score in the 8th inning. Illinois baseball 18-12 on the season and will be at Illinois Field against Indiana Friday at 6. We had the Cardinals winning 5-3 over Pittsburgh. It's 10:40 on the air for a day game today against the Pirates here on ESPN 93.5. Cubs over Texas 10-6. They've got a day game against the Rangers from Wrigley. It's a 1:20 first pitch over on US 105.9. Cleveland over the Bulls 135-113. Milwaukee over Minnesota 110-103. Indiana Pacers winning again 104-98. Pittsburgh over the Blackhawks 5-0 on ice yesterday. Also, the AP Top 25 has come out with Florida, Houston, Duke, and Auburn, along with Tennessee in the top 5. Big Ten teams represented: Michigan State at 7, Maryland 9, Michigan 10, Purdue 14, Wisconsin 16. Thought I saw somewhere that Illinois was at 33, not quite inside the top 25. Masters Week is underway with round 1 tomorrow.
All right.
Down in Augusta, Georgia.
Yeah, nothing like the Masters. Johnny's played it 2 full rounds down in Augusta, and you said it's like playing in a garden.
That's like my golf story, but it's a good golf story.
It's a great golf story.
Is.
All right, this season for spring cleaning, while many may be focused on organizing closets or basements or scrubbing floors or garages, Busey encourages you to clean up your finances. Some steps they recommend include evaluate and pay down debt, review your budget, check your credit report, sign up for e-statements and paperless billing, set up automatic bill pay, consolidate your accounts, download the Busey mobile app, manage your finances whenever you want, wherever you are with Busey's mobile and online services. Get started on your spring cleaning today financially with the expertise and innovative products and services from Busey. You can go to Busey.com. There are so many resources on there. You can get lost in there for a day of information, all kinds of things you can learn. Busey.com, it's there every single day, 24/7. Stop by one of the many convenient locations as well and ask to sit down with somebody in wealth management. They're happy to help. Busey, member FDIC. They started in 1868, 1 year after the University of Illinois. I often wonder what the drive-through would have sounded in the mud and the horse. It still would have sounded, hi, may I help you?
Clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop.
Yep. All right, I got to tell you, we have a Stever. It's the PDR.
Yes.
A full vehicle inspection to know what you've got.
PDR Automotive at 1008 North Cunningham in Urbana. I did get a PDR text to 359-2255, but really it's heading to GoStever.com.
Now, today it's online, GoStever.com, and just enter. It's a $300 value. It's $110 for the eval, and then a couple of $100 if you need to do anything, but it'll tell you the status of your vehicle and things to keep track of if you're driving a little older vehicle. Many of us are. So go ahead and get it for free with the Stever program. You can sign up if you're not a member and enter now.
I know we have the financial thing coming up here. Invest in yourself with rewards checking from Fisher National Bank. Instead of losing a little each month in fees, wouldn't it be nice to earn on your money? Switch to Fisher National, offering excellent annual percentage yields with no service fees or minimum balance. Make 12 debit card purchases, receive electronic statements, and have 1 direct deposit a month. It's as easy as that to maximize on your money with a bank ready to invest in you. Learn more at FisherNational.com. Fisher National Bank, exceptional communities, exceptional people, member FDIC.
All right, weather brought to you by Kramer Siding and Window.
Yes, they're always ready to help you with the outdoor living and the pergolas and the siding and the new windows. You can learn more at kramersiding.com.
All right, we check your weather. Meteorologist Greg Solier.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity. Just a series of weak weather systems here over the next 7 to 10 days and some ups and downs on temperature that continues on, typical for early to mid-April across the area. Heading towards an afternoon high today, a bit below average at 52. A couple of sprinkles giving way to a couple of rain showers. We're back in for this morning as well as later this afternoon with southeast to south wind turning gusty at 8 to 16 miles per hour. For tonight, maybe a lingering shower in spots, not as cold, patchy fog after midnight as winds drop back and a low down to 41. For the day tomorrow with the west-northwest wind, a bit gusty at times, a high near 58 with partly sunny skies, a patchy fog early on, stray and limited shower chance morning and afternoon. 37 tomorrow night, partly sunny 53 on the day on Friday. Saturday high though, back up around or north of 60, 67 on a breezy milder Sunday, lower 70s on Monday with a shower chance, and will cool back to the lower 60s next Tuesday and Wednesday. For Steve J. Broadcasting, I'm just Greg Soldier.
Okay, so China now 84% tariffs on the U.S. That broke about an hour and 20 minutes ago. What effect does that have on our markets that open in 10 minutes? I would think negative, but we're going to get the update now from Fox Business and see what we're trending here. 10 minutes away from the opening bell as this thing has been up and down, down, down. Hopefully it won't last.
I'm Jerry Willis, and this is the Fox Business Report. Global markets and stock futures are selling off again. Reciprocal tariffs took effect on dozens of countries overnight, including 104% tariffs on Chinese goods. China responded with its own tariffs of 84% on U.S. goods. J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, the head of the largest bank in the U.S., says he believes a recession is likely. The U.S. economy will be seeing a slowdown. But he says signs of a slowdown were starting last year. In an interview with FBN's Maria Bartiromo, Dimon says corporations will be suspending their forecasts. Dimon says markets are pricing in uncertainty. He says it's time to take a deep breath and negotiate some trade deals. This morning, both Walmart and Delta said tariffs are creating uncertainty that prevents them from predicting their business. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jimmy Cosola, invested in you.
Every hour of every day, Fox News Radio is there with the latest breaking news and information you rely on.
This is a Fox News Alert.
I'm Lisa Brady.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
With Fox News correspondents around the globe.
At the White House, Simon Owen in London.
On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The news that matters most to you. The top headlines, all in one place. Listen and follow the Fox News Hourly Update at foxnewspodcasts.com or ask your smart speaker to play Fox News.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window. New roofing and siding are a winning combination that can instantly change the look, feel, and function of your home. Our Kramer Siding and Window team takes pride in being an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, able to offer a best-in-the-business 50-year warranty. Pair it with preservation siding in your favorite style and color, and your home will be a showstopper. Start today and save 10% on roofing and 25% on siding. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
When the storm rolls in, where will you go? Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your family with a custom storm shelter from Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services. At Berg Tanks, their shelters are fiberglass and plate steel safe rooms that can be installed in your garage or exterior, in ground, or on a concrete pad. Built to withstand the toughest storms, giving you a safe, secure place when you need it most. Whether you need a compact unit for a small space or a larger shelter for the whole family, they've got you covered. Their expert team handles everything from excavation to installation so you can have peace of mind before the next storm strikes. Berg Septic also specializes in septic pumping, new system installation, grease trap cleanings, repairs, and maintenance plans to keep your home running smoothly. Call Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services today at 217-367-8632 or visit them online at bergtanksinc.com. That's bergtanksinc.com.
This is Eric Boland with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Why use Land's Underground Solutions? We have the team, the technology, the tools, and the most experienced team in the industry.
Hi, it's Wes from Land's Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Our mission at Land's is to provide top-tier service, prioritize our customers with upfront pricing, and maintain exceptional communication. We assure you at Land's we will only recommend what you truly need, from regular maintenance on your home's mechanical systems with the Land's Comfort family to replacement of existing equipment. Now would be a great time to consider updating your HVAC system. Visit us at landsinc.com.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Champaign-Urbana. Call 352-1411 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
It is Wednesday, April 9. I'm Stevie J. Brother Johnny's been hanging out. Diane Ducey's here.
Good morning.
We are covering pretty much tariffs a lot this morning, talking about the new tariffs for China at 104%. And then they came back this morning and said, okay, we're seeing your tariff and raising your tariff to 84%. And then the exact impact, I think, is wait and see and how long this will go on. Presumably, it's a negotiating tactic, but if some countries are irrational, as one guy from CNBC said, he said if the countries are rational, like Mexico and Canada don't have the cards and it's too risky for their economy, 35% is what they export and 25% is to the U.S. And so if they don't say, okay, let's go ahead and do zero each way, and it'll be a big benefit to the United States because we're being and have been tariffed. I don't know what the history, how long we've been doing this, but we, theoretically get our goods in other countries that would sell because the price would be competitive.
Right. So
it's what a big operation to say. Get the ships, get the ports, get the trucks, get it delivered, get the bot. I mean, that's a heck of a system, Johnny. That
there's a lot of trade in the world. There actually has been lots of trade back to the old days when the merchants would spread civilization.
And the ships would come in and they could, trade with
bringing products that people had never seen before from another country.
And then they had money of some port, but we didn't have like a cash changer for U.S. dollars versus the yen. We've become quite sophisticated. And how many great things are on great systems? Isn't a lot of the world system management?
Yeah.
I mean, if you can make this widget and have these machines churn it out, but it's not just making it. You got to get it in the box, got to tape the box, got to get the box to the truck, got to sell it.
Well, I think that Amazon showed that the delivery system is as important as whatever product. They get any product they want, boom, it's at your door. That's a system that was developed that is unbelievable.
Who did that?
And they weren't.
Who developed the system?
Well, it was some Bezos company did it, and they wanted to go so fast they have their own trucks because they said nobody can do what we really need to do. Here's what we're doing.
But I mean, isn't the system? Jimmy John's is a nice sandwich.
That's a system.
It's a system because every shop has fresh lettuce. That's not easy to do that. So the system says if you follow all 64 rules that Jimmy John's has, you'll make this much profit. That's how detailed it is.
The way they make the bread, how much they put on.
How many people you hire, who's at the front, who's at the back, who does this, what is the culture? That's how you become a billionaire.
Well, and it all produces the bottom line, which is when I go in and order a Peppy.
Yeah.
And by the time I get my change, it's ready.
Yeah.
I walk over to get the
system.
It's done. They're done.
It's freaky fast.
Freaky fast. And I go to McDonald's in Beijing, and the quarter pounder tastes the same. I think that's a system. And it's not easy to develop those. There are people in the world that are so good at setting up a system. So what major would that be at college? Systems management? What kind of a curriculum?
No, there's all kinds of approaches and data, literature,
and then factor
training.
Factor AI into all this. I mean, yikes. there's so much potential we haven't thought of. Anyway, it's
but we're as good as anyone in the world at it.
The innovation, most of the world's stuff, I would think a great deal, is that fair to say, in the last 100 years particularly, have come from America?
I think you're right, and I think that's why we're so successful, and it all comes from free thinking.
Yeah.
And everybody and their brother can sit and say, hey, I think we can make money.
Yeah,
These people have taken over that market, and they're charging 3 times what you need. We can sell that and make a fortune. That's what the Americans are always thinking of something. If we did this system instead of that system,
that's unique to this.
And well, we're encouraged to do it. It's part of our culture, and we're free to do it.
Yeah.
Versus someone getting a call saying you can't do that. But this is our territory is here. You stay out of it.
Yeah.
Still have some of that, but generally it's free to do anything we want.
Pretty cool. News next.
Actually, I called the provider. It was just going to be a while before I could have service, and I couldn't wait, so I was recommended to Classic. Professionalism, their dependability, credibility, and the service technicians. I wouldn't ever call anybody else.
I truly believe that after people have experienced other companies and then given us a try, they can clearly see the difference.
Visit ClassicPlum.com.
Here's what new customers are saying about Interstate Batteries.
It's nice to see capable and helpful associates. They did a top-notch job.
They were easy to talk to and explained everything.
Service was prompt and I was a walk-in. Total service time was only like 20 minutes. I highly recommend Interstate Batteries.
Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. How much is dependable worth? Experience them for the first time at 2504 North Mattis. Way out there, but worth the drive. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
Visit interstatebatteries.com.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. China is imposing 84% tariffs on American imports starting tomorrow. Retaliation for 104% tariffs on Chinese imports here in effect now, with varying lesser amounts for dozens of other countries that now President Trump says want to negotiate.
I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal.
The president at a congressional Republican dinner in D.C. The head of the Internal Revenue Service is quitting.
The departure of Acting Commissioner Melanie Krause comes as a controversial deal to share tax data on undocumented immigrants with federal agents becomes official. For years, the IRS has been asking people living and working illegally in the U.S. to comply with tax law, promising not to share that information with immigration authorities.
Fox's Lillian Wu. Krause is taking a buyout being offered to IRS employees. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Tax filing deadline quickly approaching. The Illinois Department of Revenue reminding taxpayers April 15, the deadline to file this year's state individual income tax returns. Agency began accepting those processing individual income tax returns in January. In a mission to help teens, Salvation Army of Champaign County trying something new this year. They're launching a hygiene drive and they need your help with donations. The goal to help high schoolers in Champaign County. They say there's a shortage in supplying students with health products. They'll be collecting donations from now until July 24. State representatives passed a bill Monday night to require all assisted living and shared homes to have an AED on site. Legislation also calls for all healthcare employees at the facilities to be trained on how to use defibrillators in emergencies. 54% of the state's nursing homes already have AEDs. That's what's happening on your Wednesday. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, let's check your weather this morning with meteorologist Greg Solier now to find out what the heck do we have coming up. And not too bad, very spring-like.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign and Van Saturday overall, pretty quiet weather picture. The absence of any major spring storms in the next 7 to 10 days. Just a couple of weak features in here for the day today and tomorrow. Another one scheduled in here early next week. Another one late next week. Overall temperatures continuing their back and forth trend across the area as well. Speaking of which, increasing thickening and lowering cloudiness underway, and a couple of sprinkles giving way to a couple of showers as the morning wears on. Another shower chance later in the day up to 52. Increasing southeast southeast to south wind. Lingering shower spots early on tonight. Not as cold. Patchy fog after midnight as winds drop back low down to 41. Those winds will shift around into the west at 5 to 10 miles per later on tomorrow. So patchy fog early on, partly sunny, and maybe a small chance for a fleeting shower both morning and afternoon. Highs up to about 58. We'll bottom out in the upper 30s tomorrow night. Weekend forecast, partly sunny, coolish Friday at 53. Up near 60 Saturday, upper 60s on Sunday, lower 70s Monday. Maybe a shower over parts of the area as well. For TVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
All right, so kind of into our last area of the program before the drive this afternoon. After 3 Cardinal games should be long over because we started at an 11 o'clock hour. 10:40, I think, for the pregame.
Yes.
Okay, so
a few texts coming in.
Yeah, go ahead, Diane.
There's one that says, I've lost 7 people this year already. 5 just stopped coming in. We were talking about employing more young people.
It's just, Johnny, the stories I get from business owners. I told this story before. Maybe you weren't here when I said it. Over at Moe's, which makes a really good burrito. Oh, yeah, it's on Neal Street. Fantastic. He said, I trained a guy for 2 days on how to make a burrito. Comes to Monday, he's not there. I called him. I said, where are you? And he said, and I quote, I've moved to Danville, dude.
Well, okay,
dude. So, and then if you are unemployed and you have to do things, so you get all these interviews, 1 out of 10 show. I mean, we had somebody at was it Spring Green? Text in that he's quitting, and then several another. They don't do anything. They just don't come back, and you can't read. They ghost you. Gotcha.
Is there a communication breakdown with the burrito guy? Did they say,
he was there Friday and Saturday and learned, and I'll see you Monday.
I see.
He didn't come. He moved to Danville, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you're dealing with.
Communication breakdown, but
if I bought the Burger King on Springfield, I'd be making the Whopper. That's just how it goes.
Good luck with that.
I mean, Johnny, when we were younger and got a job walking beans, did we ever miss a day?
Well, first of all, they were pretty short-term jobs. We had a certain area
week or two.
We'd cover it. No, we wouldn't really miss a day. We were having a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm not sure how effective we were at cleaning the fields.
We were doing okay.
We did okay.
But we went.
That's right. But we were hungry, right? I mean, is there no desire to go get movie money?
So there's a lot of young people who will work and show up and do well, but they're just harder to find.
All right, so the real illuminating thing here, we have Reese Hogan, who's a college student at the University of Illinois. She's been working with us for 4 years. Now, she's somebody who's got every attribute, all the boxes are checked. She can pick where she wants to work because she's that special. Mm-hmm. If you have that and you're young, you're golden. Yeah. You can go anywhere and probably make a crazy good lot of money because you've got about 50 companies that'll hire you in Champaign County today.
Well, and you can almost say if you choose to have that.
If you choose to have that. But why wouldn't you want that to get get ahead?
It's your choice. So if you would choose to have that, then there's a lot of things
you
can do, and it's a lot more exciting. And so I recommend kind of saying, let's go see what's out there. And look, you take one of those low-level jobs and you do a good job, you'll be doing things so fast through that.
Oh, man.
Through that operation.
You're working your way, getting promoted.
6 months you'll be assistant managers, 8 months you'll be a plant manager.
Then your Burger King will call you at McDonald's and say, hey, I can pay you more.
No, right. That's exactly right.
So Rick had texted in 217-359-2255. Oil is at $56 a barrel. How come gas prices are not going down?
Johnny, you take it.
Well, it always goes down slower than it goes up.
Yeah.
And I can't answer. They are actually going down a little bit across the country. You got that big chunk of taxes in Illinois on gas, which I like I like a high gas tax. Everybody has to chip in. They call it regressive, but I like a commodity that's taxed because everybody enjoys the benefits of the tax theoretically, or everybody gets hosed theoretically. Whatever way you want to look at it, we're all in it together.
Anybody want to tell me the price of gas this morning in Tuscola? 217-359-2255.
Steve takes that as a benchmark.
I mean, that's your lowest price ever.
It is, and the lowest I've seen around here is $3.19.
Okay,
yeah, I'm telling you, Tuscola will be.
It could be under $3.
It'll be $2.95.
Well, and the mayor took a trip to the East Coast and said it was under $3 in many places across the country.
Under $3. Okay. because it's apply all that tracking you have. Okay, 217-359-2255. If you would like to text in. I have a few younger people. Okay.
Gas is $2.99 in Tuscaloosa.
$2.99 Tuscaloosa. I knew it. So it's probably, is it worth you driving to Tuscaloosa?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Right.
But if you're in Tuscaloosa,
but if you're spending how much gas, and then it all evens out. So
Tim Onstad, our buddy, will be on tomorrow. Says apply all of that to trucking, and you have my life.
He asked if I'd be here next Thursday, and I said I didn't know. Doggone it.
Well, he'll be next test tomorrow.
It's tomorrow now.
But he was. But I think he was thinking of bringing something to eat.
Yeah, Johnny wants to. Younger,
but I couldn't commit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm here tomorrow.
Good to know.
Younger people think their stuff is more important than work, and don't realize work is how they take care of their stuff.
Well,
that's true. Yeah, well done.
I think it's just more that they're able to do things they like to do, like just play games on their iPhone, which we couldn't do things we wanted to do without any
more
money.
distractions, maybe.
Well, just more wealth. There's just more wealth.
Well,
there is.
And, it goes back to when you were sitting on the plane next to the veteran.
Yeah.
We did this to ourselves kind of thing.
Yeah, when I said to him, what happened to us, Lloyd... Longenbaugh. Lloyd Longenbaugh was a World War II vet. I sat on a plane with him 2 hours from, he sat by him. He's 90 years old at the time. And he talked about, he was just so joyful. And he was a World War II pilot shooting down Nazi planes. And I remember at the very end of it, I said, what happened to us, Lloyd? And then he frowned. And he said, it's my fault.
My fault.
It's my fault. I said, why would it be your fault, Lloyd? He said, I made it too damn easy.
Well, I mean, that was always the great-grandfather worked 14-hour days, 7 days a week, so his son didn't have to work as hard, who worked 12 hours, 6 days a week, and then his son didn't have to work as hard.
That's right.
Now our children don't have to do anything.
Right, and now the great-grandchildren are playing video games and not going to work.
So it's a success story in a way, but so you have to motivate the younger folks to do something they like to do that's productive. And I think a lot of them actually are, and it might take a little longer. You can lull around a little longer, like not... You have to go to work at 13. It used to be 18, then 22, then it's 25.
I mean, I had a paper out at 9.
Yeah.
We just all did that. And I walked to school in the snow backwards and the wind in my face both ways. Hey, listen, that's just how it works. But it's just unbelievable, the evolution. And some of it is not very good. But as the great Les Brown, motivational speaker, says, you got to be hungry. Yeah. You got to be hungry, and you got to get after it. And if you do that, you'll stand out so far and above everybody else right now. All right, quick break. We'll be right back.
Fighting Illini fans, your Illinois football team is coming off a 10-win season as Citrus Bowl champs. This fall, Illinois returns 18 starters from the Citrus Bowl victory, including star quarterback Luke Altmaier for a third straight season. Led by head coach Brett Bielema, the Fighting Illini are listed on nearly every major top 25 ranking for the 2025 season. Stay up to date on all things Fighting Illini football at fightingillini.com. We can't wait to see you back in Memorial Stadium this fall.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
My name is Jim Brookins. I own my lawn care service for over 15 years now. I've met a lot of great people doing this. Most of the people I meet, they become great friends. I do edging, weed eating. I blow everything off so it looks fantastic when I'm done. I believe, in my mind, I do the best. Usually my average range is usually around $40 per yard. You can call me 217-621-8807. 217-621-8807.
Nate Evans of the Nate Evans Group. Some of the things that sellers can do to increase the value of their home.
We get this on almost every listing appointment.
Hey, Nate, what can we do to increase the value of our home? We want to sell in a couple weeks. Are there some simple things we can do around the house, or there's some major things that we can do around the house to increase the value or get a return on of our investment? And again, not every home is created the same, and not every situation is the same. So if we walk in there, there's definitely some items that we can do. Paint, floors, and hardware are the easy items where you get your biggest return out of every time. That's easy to say. But there's a lot of times where we'll get questions from sellers where they're asking us, should I update my bathroom? Where should I stop on my floors? Should I redo my roof? Should I do mechanicals? And I think a lot of that plays into the overall scope of your goals. We like to get into the house when it's really not even ready for the market. We can get in there and usually save that seller a lot of money and a lot of wasted time and energy by just offering some simple advice on how we would treat it if it was our own.
You can reach out at Nate Evans Group and start packing.
Sarah Champagne's Ben Quattrone on keeping his employees.
It's got to be the place to work. We have to pay the best. We have to treat people the best. Some of the guys wanted to order pizza the other day. Well, we bought 30 Papa Del's pizzas. BMW had the best month they've ever had. They said, can we have a cookout? Saturday, I cooked like 50 ribeye steaks. And they were expecting like cheese, burgers and hot dogs and stuff. Like, if I'm eating steak, you're eating steak. We both eat steak, we both eat hamburger.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is right here in Champaign-Urbana to help you select the right protection at the right price. Kurt will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. Just call him when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, Ellen Hook here, owner of your local Ashley. Spring is calling and your patio is ready for a refresh. At Ashley, we have the latest spring styles and trends in outdoor furniture, spacious sectionals, cozy sofas, and more with multiple styles in stock and ready to take home today. Or let us deliver and set up for you. Built for style and durability, every piece features Nuvella Performance fabric, designed for easy cleaning and enhanced UV resistant to keep colors fresh, rain or shine. Shop now, relax later. Visit Ashley in Champaign today, located at 602 West Anthony Drive.
St. Louis Cardinals have a day game today with 1040 when they're on the air here at ESPN 93.5, winning over the Pittsburgh Pirates 5-3 yesterday. They had 3 runs in the third, I believe, that Paul Skeens. They did well against him, actually, and a lot of other teams are not. Cubs over Texas 10-6. They've got a 120 start to wrap up that series against the Rangers from Wrigley, and you'll hear it over on US 105.9. Cleveland blanked the Chicago White Sox 1-0. ISU over Illinois baseball 14-4. Next up, Illinois Field Friday at 6 as they face Indiana. That does it for sports. I'm Diane Ducey.
Christie Clinic has been helping patients win the fight against cancer for almost 90 years. The Charles W. Christie Cancer Center brings together a multidisciplinary team of providers who recommend and provide treatment options. Their team works together to fight cancer while helping reduce the side effects of treatment and maintain your well-being. A team built to act, a team ready to bring hope when you need it most. Learn more at cancer.christieclinic.com.
Race weekend, April 24th through the 26th, IllinoisMarathon.com.
Hi, this is Pam Moore with Philo Exchange Bank. Whether you want to do your banking online or you prefer face-to-face interaction with our friendly staff, Philo Exchange Bank delivers banking that helps you reach your personal or business goals. To us, you're not just another face, you're a part of our family. Visit us at any one of our locations in Philo, St. Joseph, Allerton, or Broadlands, and we'll be here to help.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Your lawn is an important investment. Let Spring Green take care of that lawn. Your local, family-owned and operated Spring Green has been committed to beautifying your neighborhood through quality, service, and professionalism. Spring Green's full program customers are backed by their guarantee of satisfaction. Smart Money Magazine reports that consumers value a home with a well-maintained lawn and landscape up to 11.3% higher than the base price. Why don't you call Spring Green today, 359-2111, or visit them at spring-green.com.
Jets is hiring. Call 217-352-9992 or stop into 1907 West Springfield Avenue near Round Barn in Champaign. Jets is open till 10 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays till midnight. Are you looking for a side hustle? Here's Josh from Jets talking about the benefits of doing deliveries.
When I was a delivery driver, it was amazing how much the actual amount of money I had just shot right up. It's hard to describe. You have money in your pocket every single day.
For details on joining the team, visit jetspizza.com.
You know, with like Lands Inc., we specialize in, we've got an amazing HVAC department that takes care of your furnace, you know, your heat system, air conditioning, they do that. Yeah. And for us in Underground, we take care of all your pipes that come into your home, leave your home, and work around your home to keep it dry, you know, your drainage system, sump pumps, things like that. And exactly what you said, if you don't know, you know, a couple decades ago, it was more like, oh, something broke, go fix it, repair it, no big deal. Well, now with the technology, we have cameras, like you said, that we can come in on these orange comfort clubs, and we can camera your sewer lines underneath your house and check them out just to make sure they're fine. If there's something wrong with it, we can show you right then. You know, truth is in seeing it. Yeah. We show it to you, and then you can plan as a homeowner for making those repairs or dealing with that issue later on. If it's an immediate need, at least you're not caught off surprise.
That sewer camera inspection with a proper clean out. I was just learning more at landsinc.com.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign and vicinity. Overall, pretty quiet weather picture. The absence of any major spring storms in the next 7 to 10 days. Just a couple of weak features in here for the day today and tomorrow. Another one scheduled in here early next week. Another one late next week. Overall, temperatures continuing their back and forth trend across the area as well. Speaking of which, increasing thickening and lowering cloudiness underway, and a couple of sprinkles giving way to a couple of showers as the morning wears on. Another shower chance later in the day, up to 52. Increasing southeast to south wind. Lingering shower spots early on tonight. Not as cold. Patchy fog after midnight as winds drop back low down to 41. Those winds will shift around into the west at 5 to 10 miles per later on tomorrow. So patchy fog early on, partly sunny, and maybe a small chance for a fleeting shower both morning and afternoon. Highs up to about 58. We'll bottom out in the upper 30s tomorrow night. Weekend forecast, partly sunny, coolish Friday at 53. Up near 60 Saturday, upper 60s on Sunday, lower 70s Monday. Maybe a shower over parts of the area as well. For TVJ Broadcasting, meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Are you ready? A free trip to the most lavish resort out of this world. The most spectacular landscapes and majestic views ever imagined. Where all human pains, afflictions, worries, concerns, they'll all be gone for eternity. You're right, it will be heaven. Well, it is very simple. Start your journey today. The Lord opens His welcoming arms to greet you. And this week, visit His house. Attend church services of your choice. We have found the Lord at Muhammad Christian Church. Listen to the words. Jesus will guide you as to where you need to be. And for our friends in nursing homes or assisted living, please attend your weekly prayer services. It is that simple. Start your journey today. The Lord will put His arm around you and give you comfort. Take away all your problems, anxieties, and pains for eternity. Are you ready? The Lord has been expecting you.
What is most important in your life? This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Whether you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that can help clients like you realize your goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck duck goose because you do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow will help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow in Champaign-Urbana today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
All righty. Well, we close the doors on another program on this April 9. We are back tomorrow, God willing, between 7 and 9. Brother Johnny's been hanging out this week. It's been awesome having you. Tomorrow, John Decker from Great Television. He sent me some pictures. He's 5, 6, 7, 8 feet from Donald Trump about every day.
Yeah, it's
cool.
An interesting job. Very exciting. And
changes all the time.
April 9th, does the year seem to be going by fast?
I know.
To you, or
I can't believe we're in the second quarter.
Somebody, Matt Sinclair had sent in something, said because you've lived longer.
Yeah, you're relatively shorter.
I never quite had thought of that. That's exactly what happens because now the years fly by. I don't do days anymore. I have to do months.
Well, and this year, it didn't seem like I got that old. It just seems zoop. We just had 2025.
I know. All right, Diane, we'll see you tomorrow.
Enjoy the day.
Johnny, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for being here. Johnny and Diane Ducey, I'm Stevie J. Thank you for listening. We'll meet tomorrow. Have a great Wednesday. All right, Tim, Gail Ferrick's Trucking, looking for drivers at all?
Yeah, we're going to do a little push here. And until we get the trucks full, I'm going to do something a little bit crazy. We're going to go ahead and reinstitute our $4,000 sign-on bonus for the month of April. So I can guarantee the first 2 guys that come in are going to get that. Now, after that, that will fill up the trucks, and I don't know what we'll have to reevaluate then, but we'll carry that through either till the end of April or till the trucks are filled up.
To the person listening, Tim, what do they do to get this $4,000 signing bonus in case they'd like to act on that?
They can email me at timo@gftlog.com. They can call my office at 765-793-7131. They can drop by Dedicated Diesel in Urbana at 1313 Triumph Drive and see Mandy, and she can get them the paperwork and get them in touch with me.
It's tax season. By now, we're all a bit tired of numbers, but here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number, $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed. Save up to 40% in your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. That's LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
Hi, this is Chris Vandeventer with Philo Exchange Bank. We've defined hometown banking for 14 decades. We've been a legacy of trust and dedication. We believe in the power of a community where every neighbor is a member of our family and not just another name. Unlike many other banks, our lending decisions are made within the walls of the bank. Quite simply, local banking means you get what you need quickly and efficiently.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Sarah Champagne Managing Partner Ben Quattrone on why integrity is important at Sarah.
We hire the person. The person makes the deal. The person makes the department. The person makes everyone around them treat people with courtesy and respect. If you have a quality human being, you can play any position, right? We're talking about sports. They can perform in any department, and I could teach someone a job, but I can't teach them to be a good person.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. That's SERRA champagne.com. When the storm rolls in, where will you go? Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your family with a custom storm shelter from Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services. At Berg Tanks, their shelters are fiberglass and plate steel safe rooms that can be installed in your garage or exterior, in ground, or on a concrete pad. Built to withstand the toughest storms, giving you a safe, secure place when you need it most. Whether you need a compact unit for a small space or a larger shelter for the whole family, they've got you covered. Their expert team handles everything from excavation to installation so you can have peace of mind before the next storm strikes. Berg Septic also specializes in septic pumping, new system installation, grease trap cleanings, repairs, and maintenance plans to keep your home running smoothly. Call Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services today at 217-367-8632 or visit them online at bergtanksinc.com. That's BERGtanksinc.com.
At Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people.
Are you tired of shivering in the winter? Look no further than your local heroes at ABC Heating and Air Conditioning. Hi, this is Gina inviting you to give us a call at 217-352-5400 to book your appointment to make sure your furnaces run safely and efficiently this winter. We've been proudly locally owned and operated and have been serving our community for over 50 years. ABC, always be comfortable. Call me 217-352-5400 to book your appointment today or go to abcheatingandac.com.
All right, Tim Onstad, tell me how you're doing at Dedicated Diesel and the Dixie Chopper. You have any late model